Understanding the 4 stages of the writing process. English Language Arts, with Aisha Malik. Learning objectives. List the 4 main stages of the writing process and provide a definition for each stage. Demonstrate the use of different planning, drafting, and revising strategies to effectively construct a writing assessment in line with task requirements. Assess their own and others' drafts using effective editing and proofreading strategies to pinpoint areas for improvement. Introduction. Writing is something that different people take different approaches to. One thing is for sure that it doesn't, or shouldn't, happen overnight. It's a recursive process, meaning that each step you take will feed into other steps, and it can sometimes be a bit messy and fluid as you move back and forth, adding and editing until you've completed your final copy. For the purpose of explaining a successful writing process, we can break it down into 4 key steps that each have a distinct focus. These are planning, drafting, revising, editing. Let us learn about our first step. Planning. What is planning? Planning, also referred to as pre-writing, includes anything that takes place before the actual writing of the text. It might include processes such as group discussions, brainstorming, note-taking, and researching. Generating ideas for your writing is a crucial step in ensuring you meet your specific purpose. The planning process. During this part of the writing process, you might do any number of the following things. Choose a topic. Make sure you understand the parameters and requirements of your task. Narrow down your main topic to clarify your point, argument, or focus. Consider your overall purpose, context, and audience. Organize your content into clear categories. Create a rough map or outline of how your ideas might be organized. Express similar ideas in different ways to gain new perspectives. Planning strategies. Although there are many different planning strategies during the pre-writing stage, the following slides will outline 4 of the most popular styles. Listing. Definition, generating broad ideas, then building on them with more detail in bullet-pointed lists. Then, group and label these lists so you have possible subpoints to develop. Use it when you need to produce a lot of information in a short amount of time, or when you have a broad topic that you need to narrow down. Mind mapping. Definition. A visual strategy that shows hierarchy and explores relationships between topics or ideas, also called clustering. Use it when you're a visual learner who likes the bigger picture of how ideas relate to one another. Questioning. Definition, writing a series of initial questions that center around the who, what, where, when, why, and how of a topic, then conducting research to answer them. Use it when you need a starting point or you want to clarify important points that may get lost in your planning or drafting. Free writing and looping. Definition, writing nonstop about a topic in full sentences for a predetermined amount of time, usually 10 to 15 minutes. You can then read over it, highlighting the most prominent and interesting ideas, then repeat the process as many times as you need to. Use it when you want to get your initial thoughts onto paper and narrow down ideas to make them more specific. Drafting. What is drafting? Drafting occurs when you put your notes and ideas into sentences and paragraphs, even if they're not yet perfect. Your focus is on expanding upon your ideas and explaining them fully as well as connecting them together. You'll also want to make sure you state the information you've researched accurately without plagiarizing. The drafting process. During this part of the writing process, try not to get sidetracked by perfectionism. Your focus is more about making sure you've said everything you need to say about a topic. Keep the following in mind when drafting. Don't pause to. Sometimes this process will evoke new ideas, implications, or questions that you hadn't thought of previously. Try not to pause and research in between. Make a note or add brackets to follow up on it later. Avoid adding minute details. You've got plenty of time to rewrite sentences to make them polished later. It's also not as important to pay attention to the little things such as spelling and grammar just yet. Make a mess. It's totally fine if your draft is rough. Use bullet points, sentence fragments, and temporary titles or paragraph headings for now, and don't worry about being repetitive or boring as you can rework your draft later. Revising. What is revising? Revising occurs during your first reread of your draft when you start to think about how well it addresses the task requirements and how well it addresses the needs and expectations of your readers. You might decide you need to add or remove parts, conduct further research if needed, add transitions, and replace words with clear and precise vocabulary. The revising process. During this part of the writing process, the following tips may be helpful. Print a paper copy. Often things look different on screen, so print your draft for a fresh view and edit in one go with a pen. It also breaks the cycle of making continuous small edits on screen. Seek outside feedback. Get a friend, colleague, or teacher to assess your draft for clarity of key ideas and structure. When you look at something for too long, you can miss the obvious, so fresh eyes can be helpful. Keep your drafts. Keep a copy of drafts that have been edited or culled, whether printed or digital, just in case you need to retrieve that information again. Editing and proofreading. What are editing and proofreading? Editing and proofreading go hand in hand, although editing is more to do more with revising the logistics of your writing, and proofreading is the last step you take to check the smaller. You'll want to rearrange words, sentences, or paragraphs to make sure they're in a clear and logical order. Editing strategies. It's easiest to start with the bigger parts of the text first and then move down through the smaller parts. Use the following question sets to help guide your editing process, depending on what area you'd like to focus on. Content. Have I understood the task requirements? Have all parts of the question been addressed? Is the information I've provided relevant? Is any information missing? Structure. Are my introduction and conclusion clear? Does each paragraph focus on a specific idea? Is the order logical and easy to follow? Are there clear transitions between paragraphs? Paragraphs. Sentences. Does each paragraph effectively support my thesis? Does each paragraph have a clear topic sentence? Are ideas and paragraphs logically connected through transitional phrases? Is my sentence structure clear and easy to follow? Do I need to combine sentences for clarity, precision, or variation? Have I varied sentence length and structure to make my writing interesting? Vocabulary. Have I chosen the most effective vocabulary to express my ideas? Are there any unnecessarily wordy phrases? Have I used any vague, general, or cliché words or phrases that I could rewrite to be more precise or specific? Clarity and style. Are all terms easily defined for the reader? Is my writing coherent? i.e., does it make sense? Is the tone or register appropriate for the audience? E.g., formal, colloquial. Are the language and conventions I've used suited to the particular genre? Spelling and grammar. Have I carefully, manually checked my spelling? Not just relying on digital spelling and grammar check, have I used a range of different punctuation correctly? Are all proper nouns capitalized? Can I see any errors in subject-verb agreement, pronoun usage, or switching verb tenses? Have I used commas only where they belong, and can I explain each one I use? Are there other common errors I know I make that I need to check for? To finish up. Many students find the writing process a bit tedious and often forget, or avoid, crucial steps that can help them submit a polished and professional good copy. Adopting effective strategies when planning, drafting, revising, and editing can help you deliver a powerful, clear, and well-crafted piece of writing. So let's get to it. Thank you for watching Educer with Aisha Malik.